Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sheepdog Preparedness. Always good to be back with you. Well, I said I was going to do a lot more videos now that I'm self-employed and I've got more free time, but I've been slacking on my duties. Apologize for that. Got involved in another activity on the side, and that's taken up a little bit of my time, but as you can see, I've still been busy as always. And there's another pile there, and there's another trailer full there. All in order to feed the beast. That thing is awesome. Heats our entire house and it works out great, but I just like keeping a lot of wood on hand. We got a big winter storm that they say is coming. We're gonna walk around a little bit here on the farm, take a look at some things, do a little walk and talk with you this morning. They say we got a big winter storm coming for this part of the country. Area that I'm in, they're saying we may see 6 or 8 inches. Wet, heavy snow, so we'll get the generator gone over today and do some other things just to kind of get ready just in case power was to go out. But wanted to visit with you today a little bit about how close I think we are to you needing your preparedness supplies, your end time stuff, your SHTF stuff, whatever you want to call it, your prepper stash. And I honestly think that this is going to be the year, folks. I think you're going to need that stuff, and you're going to need it soon. You don't have to watch the news for very long before you start hearing them talk about all the chaos that's going on in the world. You got the yellow vest protests going on in Paris. Some of those have already started here in the United States. The latest that they've been saying on the yellow vest stuff is they're telling their people to cause a financial collapse by going and drawing all their money out of the bank, to start a domino effect, start a run on the banks. Folks, that would be the first domino. That would go globally pretty quick if they were to ever do that, if panic did set in and people decided they're going to start running to the bank everywhere. So you got stuff like that. You got, of course, this constant chaos here in the United States. Those on the left want President Trump out at any and all costs. You've got impeachment proceedings that will more than likely start. Our president has enough supporters that if they do push it and they do come to that point to where it looks like they're going to maybe boot him out of there, it's going to trigger something big. It could potentially go ahead and trigger that civil war that we've been on the brink of for so long. You got all the excitement going on with Q and all the postings, all the cryptic postings that he's always putting out. There's supposedly some big stuff coming on the 19th and 20th of this month. We'll see. I haven't been overly impressed with much of what Q has done here lately. To me anymore, it seems like he's all talk. Just about everything that I've seen him talk about has been fluff. Don't know what to think about that stuff yet. Well, time will tell. But you got constant turmoil in the Middle East that could set things off. And here's one of the big ones to me as a person who is a Bible-believing Christian and somebody that follows biblical prophecy closely and just is fascinated by that. Those of us who follow it, we know, we not only think, we know that, this is it. We're in the end days. We're in the end times. All the signs show that we are. One of the biggies is you got several biblical wars that are still coming, that are wars of the end times, and big events that are still coming that are part of the end times. One of those has to do with Syria, Damascus in particular, okay? Isaiah 17 tells us that as we are in the end times, Damascus will be laid waste. It's going to be basically a wasteland. Nothing left but goats in the streets. Excuse me. So, look at what's going on. There's huge conflict in Syria right now. Now, Our president has announced that he's pulling our troops out of Syria. And you tell me that's not the Almighty tapping him on the shoulder saying, Mr. Trump, get your boys out of the way. There's fixing to be some ruckus over here. So if we get American troops out of the way, good Lord sees that they're out of harm's way. Israel finally decides to say, we're tired of playing around, and unleashes a big dose of kaboom on that area. Damascus is ruined. That ain't going to sit too well with Russia and Iran and some of the others. And there you go. There comes Psalm 83 conflict, just like the Bible foretells. Big end time conflict where Israel is attacked. Okay? We know that God supernaturally steps in on Israel's behalf, and that they are successful. They are just to kind of there's more there's more piles like this stashed around the farm too. So the way we figured, we got enough wood cut up on the ground ready to go in the wood stove for the rest of this winter and probably all of next winter. Stay ahead of the game, folks. So let's say it happens that way, and it's highly possible we could be seeing that. Let's say we get our troops out of the way, Israel makes their move, Damascus is destroyed, just as Isaiah 17 says. Israel gets attacked by the other countries, Psalm 83 conflict kicks in. Then what happens after that? Well, there will be a period of peace, and that could be, not saying definitely it is, that could be the period of peace that you hear about that starts the 7-year tribulation. That could potentially be the time when the Antichrist steps forward and says, hey everybody, let's play nice. The peace treaty is, not necessarily re-signed, but reaffirmed is how the Bible words it. So everybody agrees that they're going to play together nicely, Israel and all of the countries who wish ill on Israel. So that tells you, when you see that happen, when you see that day occur, when this person steps forward, big charismatic world leader, who it is, nobody knows for sure yet. There's a lot of people out there that it could be. But that person is going to reaffirm that peace contract, that peace covenant with Israel. That starts this clock. That's the 7-year clock ticking on the Great Tribulation. 7 years, the likes of which this earth has never seen nor ever will see again. The first 3.5 years of that are fairly peaceful time. The final 3.5 years are an absolute mess, and you don't want to be here on earth for that. So I'm just telling you, folks, you can choose to believe this stuff or not. Or you can choose not to believe in gravity and jump out of an airplane. You're going to find out real quick that gravity exists. You can deny it all you want. Same thing with our Bible. There's a bunch of religions out there. There's a bunch of false religions out there. They're all going to be exposed in the end times. The false prophet who is going to trick the world, and I think many of us already know who that false prophet is. He's going to work hand in hand with the Antichrist coming up soon in the next few years. He's going to trick millions and millions of you to follow him. And he's a false prophet. He'll lead you straight into the gates of hell. That's all coming. Mark of the beast. You won't be able to buy or sell without the mark. It's all coming, folks, just like your Bible tells you. Whether you believe it or not, it's going to happen. And all of you is going to wake up sooner or later. Big question is, when will you wake up? When will you wake up? Will it happen quickly enough before things go too far and you got a chance? Because there is a rapture. There's a lot of people that will tell you that there's not, but there is a rapture. The church is the bride of Christ. Christ was never married. His bride is the church, and he will call up his bride out of harm's way before the Great Tribulation happens. Rapture could be today. It could be later this year. It could, who knows? But I'm here to tell you it's going to be before the Great Tribulation. It will be It could be even a triggering event. Let's say the rapture was to happen just out of the blue before any of these other things happen. You don't think that would trigger an SHTF scenario? Whoo, man. Millions of people disappearing, poof, gone, and everybody realizes, uh-oh, the book was right. They're gone. Man, chaos is going to ensue like you ain't ever seen. So, get right with your maker. You got to make that decision. Nobody can make it for you. You've got to be the one to come out and say that you do understand that Jesus died on the cross for you, that you are a sinner, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do to pay for that. I know a bunch of you are still going to those works churches, and you're going to those churches that let you think they can teach you how to buy your way in. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't but one way in, and that price has already been paid. When Jesus died on the cross, he said it is finished, and he meant it's finished. You're not going to do anything to outdo what he did for you on the cross. All you got to do is accept that. You got to lay down everything and tell him that you believe that he died for you. You got to believe it in your heart. You got to accept that free gift, and you're set. One other thing that I wanted to talk about briefly too was I know there's a lot of people out there that have this big romantic idea that, okay, yeah, they believe that a lot of this stuff's coming. Things are going to get rough, but man, America, we're a resilient type. We get out of stuff. It's going to be great on the other side. We're going to maybe have this civil war. We're going to maybe go through another Great Depression or whatever, but we're going to come out on the other side, and we're going to be stronger and better. And I got news for you, folks. This is it. This coming up. This is it. America's not coming back, but Jesus is. You're not going to see some magical reformation where you're going to be a part of this new revolution and you're going to be like one of the new founding fathers, and all you got to do is just hunker down in your little bunker for a while and live off your food and come out the other side in a great new land. Nope. You're going to go through some tough times ahead in this country. The whole world is going to see some tough times. Great tribulation, when it comes, is going to make the Great Depression look like a Sunday picnic with fried chicken. You ain't going to be able to fathom what it's going to be like. America is not coming back, but Jesus is. America has seen her heyday. The good times are behind you. You better get your stuff together. Get your family ready. Get your food and water and medicine and all your supplies together, and get it yesterday. Because especially if you're not a Christian person, you're going to have to endure some really crazy stuff. So you're going to need it for that. But even if you are a Christian person, we don't know when the rapture is. We don't know when Jesus is going to call his bride up. Until that point, you got to be ready to survive. If that big run on the banks happens tomorrow, or the stock market collapses tomorrow like it easily could, if Israel decides to go in and wipe out Damascus later on this year after we get our troops out of the way, that's going to set stuff off. You don't think that's going to affect global economy and other things? It'll all trickle down, and it ain't going to take much, folks. It's a fragile environment worldwide right now. All them pretty dominoes are laid out on the gymnasium floor, millions of them, going all different directions and making all these patterns. And there's a toddler that's just been released into that gymnasium, swinging a toy on the end of a rope. And whoa, which one's going to get knocked over first? All it's going to take is one, and it's gone. When that first domino rolls, we're off to the races. I'm telling you this just to get you woke up. If you're not already woke, you better get your stuff together, folks. Are you ready?